Now, let's talk about you. You have a consciousness, a knowingness. You know that there's more out there, or there's more in here, I guess would be a better way of saying it. You know there's so much more, but yet you're still in that hard life. Yet you're still subscribing to spirituality has to be forms of human denial. It has to be, you have to be hard on your mind, on your body, and everything else. And you're still in these patterns of the human consciousness is in. Maybe you're not at an 8 in terms of hard. Maybe you've brought it down to about a 6.7 or something, but it's still hard. And it shouldn't be at all. One could argue and say, well, yeah, but as long as you have to deal with traffic, and as long as you have to deal with other people and family members and all the rest of this, how do you get out of it? How do you go beyond it? And that's where I come back to the statement, none of that matters, actually. None of it matters. Not the journey, the other people, the family, none of it matters. Not in a way of just being laissez-faire or not giving a damn. It just doesn't matter at all. None of it. So that's when you take a deep breath and you stop working so hard at it, at everything in your life, at jobs and at relationships. I'll tell you one thing about relationships is that if you work at it really hard, it's going to hurt even more. And some are going to get very upset that I make the statement, oh, you have to work at relationships and you have to. No, actually, that's a bunch of crap. And if you have a partner that insists that it's hard and you have to work at it, you probably don't have the right one. Relationships shouldn't be difficult. They should be sensual. They should be alive. They should be free. They should be loving. And if it's hard, you're just falling into that old pattern, that old subscription. Why? Why? Well, partly because you think you don't know any better, or you think that's the way you do it. You work your way through it. You work out the problem. No, stop that. You think that abundance or jobs or any of that has to be hard. You got to work at it. Stop that right now. Now, while I say that, and there's part of you that's like, oh, I knew that. Adamus he's taking the words right out of my mouth. I knew that. But the other part of you, of your mind, is jumping in there and saying, oh, but it's all going to fall apart. We're going to lose control of everything. You've got to care. Care, was care just another word for working really hard and getting nowhere? You got to really care about things. You got to work at your job. No, you don't. That is such old thinking, ingrained thinking. You don't. What happens when you're in that mindset that it's got to be hard? Whatever you do, spirituality, your life, relationships, anything, your car, it's always breaking down, it's so hard. I'm surprised some of you can get out of bed in the morning. Some of you can't, actually. But when you get into that layer of consciousness that's being put into reality, that you call it your thoughts or your beliefs, but what it is just actually a little layer of consciousness. It's just like if you took this whole bouquet here, but it's just this pussy willow here, where you have all the rest of this, but it's just that layer sticking out saying, I got to work hard at it. Now, that's the one that's glowing, vibrating. That's the one that's really in this reality. That's going to align all the energies. Remember, you are consciousness, a light, like a magnet. And the part that's really shining, the part that is activated at the moment, that's going to pull in the energies that absolutely support that absolutely will make that a reality. So therefore, your life will be hard. It's, I guess you could call it the law of attraction. It's the kind of the law of stupidity. Because the universe is stupid. When some of you say, oh, I wait to see what the universe says, the universe is really stupid. It is just energy, particles, responding to your consciousness. The consciousness that is, you could say, resonating, vibrating, put forward. So when we talk here, I say, let's stop making life so hard. The mind jumps in one side of it, and the mind says, oh, yeah, but what are we going to do? We're not going to eat. Stop that now. Let that real knowingness, right? You know it doesn't, have being co-founders of the planet. That's a good title for your business card. Co-founder. Planetary co-founder. When I say life was never designed to be hard, you know it. It's like that damn right. It was designed to be a hell of a journey. Sensual, real, very, there's not a human word for it. Maybe I'll make up a word. Deep, colorful, meaningful, fun, and it doesn't matter. Kind of all combined into one word. It wasn't meant to be like this. And it wasn't meant to be so stuck. Somebody mentioned stuck before. Well, humans are stuck, absolutely. Stuck in the mud. Stuck in old patterns. Now, if you choose, let's start a movement here. First within yourself and then going out. It doesn't have to be hard. None of it. Other humans will justify why their life is hard. They got a bad spouse, they had bad parents, whatever their problems are. Let's just stop all that right now. I want you to stay here. I want you to love waking up in the morning. I want you to love what life has to offer. I want you to love design and beauty. I want you to really love design and beauty. But it's difficult right now when life is so hard. It's difficult taking a moment to love the beauty of this planet. It's difficult to let yourself appreciate something like art or music. It's just too hard. Too hard. But let's stop that now. Let's have first generation in probably a couple million years that actually isn't on the hard side of life. It's on the five and down side of hardness and maybe going some point to almost none. It doesn't have to be hard. I look at the struggles that you are going through. A lot of them self-inflicted, self-imposed, a lot of them. But self-accepted, meaning you've never stopped to question it. Never stopped to question. It's not supposed to be hard. Not at all. You know you're coming out of that old mindset. You know that you're being a transhuman, being divine and human at the same time. You know you're coming to your senses, literally, coming to your senses when you can really appreciate beauty. Really appreciate beauty. Design. It's what you really came here for, to create it and then to appreciate it. Design can be anything. Design can be your thoughts in design. Right now, the thoughts are in chaos, conflict, and pain. Right now, the thoughts that are in the mind for most humans are generally very hard, very rough. But you know that you're releasing that when even, actually one of the first indicators, suddenly your thoughts have design to them. Have you ever thought about having thoughts that have design? Probably not. Because your thoughts are just kind of a stream of really almost disconnected and oftentimes abusive uh, feelings going through. That thoughts are, they stream through, and there's memory streams, but there's also judgment streams, and they're abusive, first on you and then on others. And then you try to hold back, so I don't want to have all these bad thoughts. But they're part of this hard life syndrome. You know that you're starting to allow yourself to have an easy life. Easy in every way. I'm talking every way. When you suddenly realize one day, hopefully soon, there's a design in thoughts. There is a beauty in thoughts. Just feel it for a moment. You got all this stuff going around in your head. It's not really in your head, but you think it is. You got all this stuff going around in there, and it's just kind of a jumble. And you try to suppress a lot of it. But let go of the control for a minute and feel into that design. It's artistic, it's creative. It actually has a tremendous amount of beauty in the thoughts themselves, how they work with each other, how they go off in their own way, how they get lost and stuck. That's a design that's kind of beautiful in a way. Thought goes down a dead-end street in your brain and then doesn't know what to do and goes crazy. That's design. That's beauty. That's beauty. And then you start noticing the design of nature. And it's not just trees and grass and sky and that. Suddenly you realize the intrinsic beauty of nature. Nature, the number one thing Shaumbra say they're going to miss when they leave this planet, and you're right. There's nothing else like it. This beauty of nature, and it has design, it has color, it has life. Nature is life itself. And that's why you think you're going to miss it, and you will miss it to a degree. But nature is life. It's constantly blooming and growing and reacting and rejoicing. And then it goes into its deep sleep, and then it dies, and it doesn't care because it doesn't matter to nature, because it reemerges either again into nature or somewhere else. There's such beauty in nature. You suddenly realize I'm getting off of the hard life syndrome when you can actually appreciate it. Go out and not just with your eyes, but to smell it, to be in that sensual nature of nature. Nature is something you created. It's your mirror. It's your mirror. The reason for nature is not to create, certain oxygen or gases or whatever else. It was created so you could see life, so you could see you. Life, energy in motion, but energy come to life in form, design, symmetry, beauty, and chaos all at the same time. When you're at a point of, as was mentioned before, the beautiful simplicity, where you're not making things complex anymore, you're actually allowing them to be simple again. When you're not putting layer on top of confusing layer on top of confusing layer, but you're coming to simplicity. That's when you know you're getting off of this hard life syndrome and letting it be easy. Simplicity, and it's almost the antithesis of what the world teaches. It teaches a lot of complexity, and those who know complexity, even science, those who know it are really smart and really wise. No, actually, those who can look at anything in life, at nature, and see the elegant simplicity. It's life itself. I don't care about atoms and microbes and chromosomes and any of the rest of that. It's interesting to a point, but life isn't science. Science tries to understand life and its origins, but life isn't science. Life is design and beauty. That's it. Whereas Tobias said it doesn't matter. In other words, get off the small stuff. Stop working so hard at making life more painful or making life harder. None of it matters because it really doesn't. And whereas Tobias was trying to get you to understand, it doesn't matter. Stop this painful, hard road to spirituality because it's not going to get you there. You get there by allowing. That's it. By taking a deep breath and allowing. That's it. Now, I know you're going to say, but my mind is so programmed into all of these patterns, into all the hardship, into having to do certain things. I don't know how to break out. I don't know how to get off that merry-go-round that's been going around and around and around ad nauseum to the point of absolute sheer boredom. I don't know how to get off. That's yet one more way of the mind and mass consciousness and everything else, one more way of it saying, I'm not going to do it. And that's when you, the I am, steps forward and says, I'm off. I am here in the easy life. I am. The mind's going to jump in and say, oh, you're just making this up, and say, that's right, mind, because I am the creator. I can make up anything I want, and therefore it is. The mind's going to jump in and say, oh, you're just fooling yourself. And once again, you're going to hit the wall. Failure, failure, because you're a loser. And that's when you say, I am here. I am here as a creator being. I am here in my easy life. I don't give a damn about the rest of it. I am here. Now, one could argue that you're simply fooling yourself, and perhaps you are, but the reality is, once you allow that, not work on it mentally, once you allow it, I am here in the easy life. It doesn't matter if you're just kidding yourself or not, but the energies start responding accordingly. The universe is stupid. It's not going to do a psychoanalysis of you. It's not going to put a lie detector on your body and, well, was he kidding or not? You know, was this real? Doesn't matter. Universe is really stupid, or simple, I guess you'd say. And it's going to respond accordingly. Edith is here now in the simple life. All the energies change their old alignment. They were over here at 8, hard life. And they're like, oh, okay, she's now in easy life. Here we are. They realign. They realign, and they serve you, the master. It's that simple. And if you make it any more difficult, if you start your intellectual crap, and if you start to mock you of the mind, and start analyzing and dissecting and questioning in particular, then you defeat yourself, and you're right back on that merry-go-round. Actually, you've never really gotten off. But if you, as the creator, say, I am here in the master's easy life, then it is so. It is, I guess you could say, energy physics 101. It has to be. And it's not being delivered from the universe. I mean, the energy comes from somewhere, but it's not the gods having favor upon you. It is you simply allowing. That's it. That's it. Anything more complex, those of you who get on your social media, I'm not sure if I like social media or not. But those of you who get on social media and start trying to analyze it and dissect it and argue about it and slamming other people for it, you've lost. You're back in hard times. Those of you who simply, as the creator, I am here in the easy life, then it will be so. It will not change others. It will not change the rest of the world. They're going to stay over there in 8 to 9'sville in the terms of heart. This planet is going to continue having a hard life. The reason why I bring this up is because, well, I'll talk about it more in just a moment, but this whole thing of pronos that I talked about recently, New Earth and the old Earth are not going to melt, ever, ever, ever. It's good news and bad news, I guess, for those of you who love this planet, who really helped create this planet. It's kind of sad. And it's like, oh, we thought we'd pull it together. It's not going to happen. The good news is that you are now free to roam about the universe. You are now free of the responsibility, of the weight and the burden of having to try to bring this together. You're now free to create your own place. You're now free to be in Theos and be here at the same time. But if you have the consciousness that, well, this life has got to be hard, if you cannot get off of that, it's going to be very hard to be Theos and Earth at the same time, to be human and divine at the same time. That's why I say, I am here. I am the master in my easy life, and coexisting all around me with those in their hard life. And they can be done. It's a bit challenging. It's going to be a bit challenging. Well, it's going to be really challenging in many ways. Being in an easy life, being at ease with yourself, no dis-ease, but at ease with yourself in a world all around you that's filled with 8s and 9s, hardness of life. There's going to be a tendency to want to go to them to make their life easy, because you're still spiritual social workers. I don't care what you say. You just can't help yourself. And that's when you cheat on me again. You say, well, I'm just going to help this person over here. You know, come back to compassion. True compassion is simply allowing, accepting at all levels of everybody, their journey, their challenges and their difficulties. They're going through their stories. That's all they're doing. And you don't have a right or a reason to change their story until they come to you and say, I need help. And then ask them 3 times. You really want to change? Well, I just need some money right now. And then things will be, do you really want to change? Well, no. So ask them 3 times if they really want help. If 3rd time they're still on their hands and knees crying, then jump in. In order to be here on this planet as an embodied master, realizing that it's an 8 in terms of hardship, and you can be at about a 1, maybe 2, go back and forth just for fun, relatively easy. You're going to feel kind of guilty that, gosh, they have it so hard and I have it so easy. I have a lot of extra ease that I'm just going to share with them. Stop it. Right then and there. It's going to be hard on you and harder on them. Allow yourself to have that easy life. And not that every moment's going to be easy. You're still going to have the and say, ooh, there is that part with the human with the and, but you're going to kind of start staying away from there more. But to be here as the easy master, things come to you easy. Money, energy, not necessarily people. Not necessarily people. That's not going to happen. But everything else, you with yourself, your design of your life, your appreciation of your beauty and the beauty all around you. That's important. So back to where I was going. Calder is telling me I'm talking too long, but don't you find this fascinating? Yes. Fascinating. Good answer. See how easy it is? Back to where this is all going. If Tobias said, it doesn't matter, I'm going to say to you, to all of you, come to your senses. Come to your senses. I like that to be one of my key phrases. Come to your senses means several different things. First of all, come on, really? It doesn't have to be hard. Come to your senses. Life doesn't have to be hard. It shouldn't be hard. Come to your senses about your own spiritual journey. There is no journey. Ha, joke's on you. Come to your senses. It's not a journey. I'll get into that in a minute. But why did you put yourself into a journey? Why did you put yourself on some hamster wheel into spirituality? Because you like spinning? Because you like sweating? Because you like working hard? And you think the universe cares that you're working really, really hard? Doesn't give a damn. Doesn't give a damn. Come to your senses about what energy really is and about who you really are. You're not energy. You're consciousness. You're the I exist. You come to your senses. You attract energy. You design energy. You are your body is an energy design. Your thoughts are energy designs. But you're not energy. You're consciousness. You're the very thing that brings the energies in and designs them and creates them and puts them into your reality. You're the very thing that has created nature, the thing you love so much, that is life itself, that is the design. Come to your senses. Stop making things complex when they don't have to be. Relationships, and I tread on thin ice here sometimes, but I like ice fishing. So, but I say to you, this is one of the deepest ones. Come to your senses if you're not in a good relationship. Bye-bye now. God doesn't care if you didn't get married for an eternity. No, you didn't. And there's a lot of old bad karma. And so what? You hurt their feelings for a little while. So what if they become drunks? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No, I'm very serious about that, because one person drowning is bad enough, but two is worse, if you know what I mean. Right. They're going to drown anyway. Not all of your spouses or lovers. Some of you are very happy. But if you're in a bad relationship or a bad family, bye now. And you're going to be a little lonely for a very short period of time, but that's it. And come to your senses here about even your own body and about your own control and your rules and how you come to your senses. Keep it really simple. Really simple. Come to your senses. But the other side of all that is come to your senses, your sensuality, what is beyond your eyes and your ears. Come to feeling. That is what frees you, really, your senses. That is what gets you out of the zoo. Not thinking your way out, because you just think a bigger zoo with bigger walls. But you are a sensual being. I told you last month, this is the year of being in our senses, coming to our senses. Now, the mind asks right away, well, what are they? And I say, it doesn't matter. I say it really doesn't, because they're there. We're not creating them, and we don't need to define them. We're not creating senses. We've got 200,000 to explore that are already there. We will create some new ones, but come to your senses, because there's a different way of living that's not in the mind, that's not from control, that's not in limitation. Come to your senses. They're already there. They're already so beautiful, and they're going to help you understand design and beauty in a way that the mind never could, never was intended to. And here's where I come back to, now, don't sit here and think that we're going to go into activating senses, because we're not. That's a form, that's simply mental macchio. We're not going to. They're already there. We don't need to do anything other than allow. Come to your senses. Then they'll come forth. For everybody a little bit differently, but then they'll come forth. And suddenly, the imagination, which is a sense, opens. And you stop trying to limit it and say, oh, that's just crazy thinking. No, it's a sense of imagination. A sense is a way of perceiving reality. That's all it is. It's a different perspective of perceiving realities. As you open the sense of imagination, the perspective of reality shifts. Suddenly reality isn't so hard. Suddenly reality isn't so limited. Suddenly reality becomes, in a way, almost like a fantasy, fairy tale. And the mind says, well, you're just making this up. Damn right, mind, I am. Because I am a creator. And I'm allowing. So the imagination dreams are another sense. They're not the wanderings of the mind at night, because you can't make that shit up in your everyday mind. It's a different way of perceiving reality. It's a way of, as Calder wrote in a story, he wanted me to give him credit here. It's a way of, dreams are a way of viewing ongoing stories. Whether it's a past life, whether it's a story of a relationship you had years and years ago and no longer have it, you let that go. The story continues. And it's quite beautiful. There's a design in it, and dreams are a sense of perceiving. Dreams are not just crazy things because you ate too much pepperoni last night, your mind going crazy. They're not. They're valid. They're parts of you. They're not trying to tell you something. There's no, for the most part, there's no great big secrets. They're ongoing stories. And as many of you know, you've had crazy dreams lately, big dreams, because you're coming to your senses, the sense of dreaming. Some of you weren't remembering your dreams. Now you are, and you wish you could go back to not remembering your dreams. It's a way of perceiving. Now, we'll be talking how you can now steer your way around dreams. Which ones do you want to watch? It's like you have all these channels on your televisions these days. What do you want to watch? Right now, the dreams are just kind of popping up, but we'll get into more of how to perceive. But I do want to talk about one important sense as we come to our senses. I love that. Come to our senses. Stop that mind. Stop being so come to your senses. Open up. So this is a little shifting gears here.